Irish Yogurt's Clonakilty. Try a spoonful of delicious.
The chef has a serious zest for life that he's now injecting into his cooking.
Edward Hayden's in the kitchen making trifle. I don't know what the zest for life is. And it has a tangy twist, the trifle.
There you have it. And of course, it reflects my overall genuine joie de vivre at all times.
Joie de vivre. Yeah.
I try to bring it to you here every
Trifle
week.
with a twist.
Trifle with the twist. And this is a really lovely trifle. It's a lemon and raspberry trifle. Now, what I'm going to start on is I'm going to start on the lovely custard. So again, trifle is probably as contentious as stuffing and brown bread because everybody has their own different versions of it.
Right.
So what I'm going to do is give you a little whistle-stop tour through mine. So in here, what I've got is I've got 6 egg yolks. To that, I'm going to add my sugar. So I've just got some sugar here. I'm going to pop that in, and I'm just going to pop in a teaspoonful of corn flour as well. So that'll give you that nice thickening element for the custard. So give that a nice little mix. Now I've scalded the milk just before we came on air. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to meet that. You don't have to kind of make that pale or creamy.
What do you mean?
What do you mean you scalded the milk?
Okay, it's just what I've done is I've just bringing it so it's just shy of the boil. So it'll come to the boil very, very quickly there. And I just want to get it where it's just shy of the boil. Okay, so once that is the case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour that on. And just like all of the home economics teachers of the past...
You're pouring it into the bowl,
yeah,
not
we're
the
going
other
to
way
pour
around.
you always pour the hot onto the cold when making a custard, just like so.
Oh, I never knew that.
Okay, so pour it on just like so. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to return that custard to the pan, and I'm just going to keep that over the heat until it just thickens. Now, what I will say to people at home, just do be careful that you really need to give it...
won't it?
It will burn, but not only will it burn, it will become scrambled eggs very quickly.
Yeah.
It's a real tightrope. Yeah, it's a real tightrope because you don't want it to overcook and scramble, but also you need to kind of cook it so that the taste of the corn flour goes out. But whoever thought custard could be so complicated?
Scrambled. Well, I was just going to say, I would never even have thought of making my own custard.
Yeah, and
you just buy it on the
you're a
top.
bad combination. Alan doesn't want to make the sponge. You don't want to make the custard.
No, but when I saw you had to make a full Swiss roll for this...
Yeah, so what I've done, listen, as always, there's always kind of avenues that you can go down to kind of make things a little bit easier. I've made a Swiss roll. I've given people the recipe for it. It's a 4-egg Swiss roll. So again, it's just that fatless egg sponge. It's your 4 eggs, 4 ounces of sugar. I've beaten that up until it's at that sabayon stage or that ribbon of 8 stage. And then I folded in some of the self-raising flour and I've made it. But you could buy a Swiss roll or you could buy
a trifle.
sponge. Well, you could, but I can guarantee you it wouldn't be as nice as mine. Of that, I'm sure and certain.
Do you want me to do that?
Well, you hop over
cook
there,
on the
Tommy.
rest?
Yeah,
Right, come on
absolutely.
then.
You'd be able to put it on your CV then that you've been coming
to be
chef.
scrambled.
Now,
right.
here we go. At the meantime,
So
then,
do I just keep doing this?
yes, and just make sure that it doesn't come fully to the boil. So what I'm going to do then, you can just see with my Swiss roll, I've just cut into pieces. I've got a lovely glass bowl, and I'm just going to arrange some of the Swiss roll all the way around there as well.
Now, all trifles aren't Swiss rolls, are they?
No, sometimes people will use like a trifle sponge. You know, you can get
just
the
an
trifle
ordinary
sponge.
yeah.
But what I've
Or
got...
the biscuits.
Yeah.
What's those?
Those are the kind of the langue de chat biscuits or the boudoir biscuits. They're often used in maybe like a charlotte or a tiramisu, which is that Italian trifle.
Oh, okay.
But the classical English or Irish trifle. Tommy, you're doing a bomb there. You're doing a bomb. Now, can I just show you, Alan, the virtues of using the Swiss roll? You can see I've left a few gaps around the side of the bowl, but you should be able to have that lovely... You'll see the jam coming out through there as well.
You want to see that in the finished
Are
product.
you having any more? Are you putting any
I'm
more?
going to put in a few more in a few minutes, yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get in a bit of custard there. So I'm going to put in the rest of it. So you see what I'm doing?
Look at
I'm
the colour of this coming out now.
Lovely. Oh, listen, Tommy, you have that perfect. Now, so I've dotted in some of the
isn't it?
raspberries. Now, if you wanted, then what you could do is throw a bit of booze in there. You know, so get a bit of sherry, a bit of Grand Marnier or something in there. Throw that in. Now I'm pouring in my custard, not all of it. And then Tommy was wondering, could he eat the rest of the Swiss roll? But no, the answer is no. What I'm going to do then is take the rest of the Swiss roll and just fill that gap in the middle. I'll take another few raspberries in there. And then I'm going to put in the rest of the custard. Okay, and you pour that in when it's really nice and hot so that it will soak or macerate into the sponge really nicely. And
God,
then
that
there
looks
we have it
amazing.
just like so. Now, my little tip to prevent the skin or a formation of a crust on that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of cling film. So I've got a nice little piece of cling film here, and I'm literally just going to sit it, not on top of the bowl, but directly on top of the trifle.
While it's warm.
Just like so. Again, I'm leaving little gaps around the edge for the heat to escape. And that's basically your trifle. Put that into a cool area of the kitchen for a few minutes until it cools down, and then into the fridge. And the
How long would you
resultant
leave it
mixture...
for?
Well, I would always try and leave it overnight to let the
Okay.
custard get nice and cool. The resultant mixture is this, just like so. If you were at home, of course, you'd be scraping the edge of the cling film or licking that. But we won't do that here on the telly. And you can see what I mean about the lovely kind of sponge all the way around the outside of that. Then I've got some of the lovely Irish yoghurt, Clonakilty, low-fat natural yoghurt. And instead of cream, I'm going to use this as the topping. So put that into
That's
the
just
bowl.
to be healthier.
Yeah, and also it just kind of gives it a nice bit of sharpness to kind of work with the sweetness of the trifle.
What's that?
I've got some lovely lemon curd there as well. So I'm
Greek,
just...
you've gone Greek yogurt.
I've gone Greek as well. So the thicker, the Greek-style yoghurt, because the whey has been strained out of it, it's that bit thicker. So that works really nicely. Pour all of that on there, just like so. And
God, it's a lot of work, isn't it?
listen,
look at
Alan,
it, it's
it'll be well
trifle.
worth it.
Yeah.
It's trifle as well. Now, also what you could do, if you so desired, I actually made this last
individual
night. And I
ones.
made little individual ones, which would also be quite nice as well. Then to embellish that, then just scrape that or shake that all over the top. Then what I have is I have a few fresh raspberries. I worked with a lady years ago. She always said if you had fruit on top of anything, everyone will think it's healthy.
good, yeah,
So that's my virtue. Then I've got some lovely toasted flaked almonds.
Oh, don't ruin it with them.
Dude, loads of those.
That'll give you that lovely textural interest.
Look how
and
healthy
then,
that is.
just for the effect as well, I also had a few little chopped pistachios at home, and I'm just going to put a few pistachios on the top. And then you may have heard tell of these. These are the little Chinese lanterns
them.
or the little physalis. Now, again, they're kind of, I suppose, innocuous in terms of taste, but they look really good. Of course you can. Oh, of course you can try one.
not
What do you want
such
to
a
What do you want to
such
do?
a
Try one of these?
No, I want to try the glasses.
Oh, you want to try the glass
I love all
one?
your
Okay.
posh glassware.
Well, listen, we do our best. Here, I'll give you a few of those. We do our best. Well, this, of course, is lovely local glass to us at home in Graignamanagh. So
That looks
we have it all.
unbelievable, Edward.
Here,
You don't want the
me-
nuts, so do
Hey,
you?
give me that one over.
Here, I'll give
don't
him
touch
this
that.
one.
Oh, you.
I'll give you this one now without the nuts, Alan.
Yeah.
There we go.
So dive into that.
Look at how impressive
that
is
does
just-
look gorgeous.
But as I said, I don't want to mention it in the middle of early November. But again, people might be looking for a lovely Christmas dessert. You might be invited out. The invitations are starting to come now, whether you're going to be invited in or invited out for Christmas. And to bring something like that, it really is the kind of a showpiece.
Oh, to bring to somebody else.
Bring someone else.
If I
out.
turned
Yeah.
up with that, I'd
Very
be-
impressive.
Oh, yeah.
Well, listen, Tommy, you're nearly there now. You can make the custard. As seen on TV.
Edward Hayden, you've nailed it. Thank
You're
you very
very
much.
welcome.
Beautiful.
Tá fáilte,
Really gorgeous. Well
Oh,
done.
it is. It's beautiful.